Hi guys, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. My name is Romit Gupta. I'm the account director from Darktrace Middle East. Today I'm going to talk to you about the use of artificial intelligence techniques in Darktrace solutions. Before I get started, I would like to talk a little bit about the company and about myself, a quick introduction. So Darktrace is a first ever autonomous response company which does detection and response to cyber attacks totally without rules and signatures. And I have been working with Darktrace for about 2.5 years here in Dubai and handling Middle East as a region in the capacity of an account director. So with that, I would like to take you through a brief introduction of Darktrace. So Darktrace was founded in the year 2013 by a group of mathematicians from the Cambridge University. That's why it's headquartered in Cambridge in UK, and it also has a second headquarter in San Francisco in the US. I'm happy to share with you that we've been recently listed on the London Stock Exchange, and we are a publicly listed company now. Darktrace is one of the fastest growing cybersecurity company as per Financial Times 2020 report. We are the first company in the world to come up with autonomous response, which is anti-GINA, purely on the basis of AI. We are also the company which is first to market artificial intelligence for comprehensive cybersecurity defense. And lastly, we are a cloud native company. So depending on where you are in your cloud journey, whether you're on-prem or completely cloud or somewhere in between, we can still provide you complete end-to-end security. Darktrace has, as of today, 4,700 enterprise customers in 110 countries all over the world, with 44 offices all over the globe and 1,700 employees globally. This is the Darktrace Cyber AI platform. So basically, there are 3 softwares which are running simultaneously in the Darktrace environment. The first pillar is the enterprise immune system, which is a self-learning and detection engine. So enterprise immune system does the first 3 steps of cybersecurity, which is learn what is normal, detect what is abnormal, and report what is abnormal. The second pillar is anti-GINA, which is on the right top, which is called as the autonomous response. Now, anti-GINA actually understands how to stop the abnormal within the network by causing minimum damage or minimum hampering to the business productivity. So it's an intelligent tool which can not only stop attacks in real time, but also make decisions on how to do that, causing minimum business interruption. Now, the third tool is Cyber AI Analyst, which is the automated investigation. So what we have done is we've actually taken artificial intelligence to the next level, wherein instead of deploying a human analyst to do the investigation, triage, and produce reports, AI Analyst actually does this, wherein we have trained AI to do the same level of investigation, if not better, over a period of number of years, over thousands of reports that our analysts in our Cambridge headquarter write reports on. And now the tool is ready to actually do automated investigations and produce reports in real time. Now, I would like to explain to you that Darktrace actually covers your entire digital estate. So whether, starting with email, so if you're on Office 365 or Google Mail, we can give you, or on-prem Exchange 2013, 2016, 2019, we can give you complete email security. We can cover different SaaS applications that you may be using, such as Salesforce, Dropbox, Office 365, the complete suite, including SharePoint, OneDrive, MS Teams, Duo, Slack, Okta, Jump Cloud, Box.com, etc., etc. Now, we can also cover computers, desktops, laptops. We can cover your cloud environment. So whether you're on AWS, Azure, Rackspace, or Google Cloud Platform, we have dedicated connectors available to give you complete visibility and response in your cloud and SaaS environment. We can also cover your virtualized environment. So whether you're using Hyper-V or VMware or anything else, we can cover your inter-VM traffic and give you complete visibility into your virtualized environment as well. If you're an industrial customer using assembly lines, manufacturing units, which has the DMCs, HMIs. We have an industrial immune system, which can give you complete visibility and can take actions to stop cyber attacks in your OT environment. And as you can understand, in OT, availability is more important than security, because somebody can lose his life if at all there was some application or some process that was stopped. Lastly, we also cover IoT, so devices that go under the radar, such as IP telephony on every desk, CCTV cameras, microphones, TV screens in the boardrooms of the offices, biometric sensors, fingerprint sensors, printers. I mean, these are devices that have hardly any endpoint security. So to conclude, anything with an IP address is something that Darktrace can detect and protect. Now, I would like to draw your attention towards why Darktrace is unique in its offering and how it actually does something which is fundamentally different from other vendors within the market. Now, Darktrace has a very unique approach. So we don't look at attacks retrospectively. We actually learn on the job, and we are constantly learning, adapting, analyzing patterns of life at granular level. So we actually learn the behavior of each device, each subnet, each application independently. And over a period of time, we understand what is normal, what is abnormal, and how do we stop the abnormal, causing minimum business productivity loss. So Darktrace actually is a tool that does not create any rules and signatures, or does not create any blacklists or whitelists, or it does not require any sample data sets, or no manual configuration, no tuning required. So it is an autonomous tool which learns on the go, and it works in a dynamic environment. It doesn't work like static rules that you write within the other tools that you currently use at your perimeter or otherwise. Now, when I talk to CISOs or security teams of different organizations, these are some of the most important things that that normally come up during the conversations. I hope you would agree with me that 2020 was a very, very different year, and it disrupted almost everything on this planet, and we are still grappling with it. But during the conversations, some of the top few things is that the CISOs share with me are: how do we secure the remote workforce? Working from home or working from remote location has become the new normal. So therefore, organizations now require visibility into those machines. And they also need detection and response capabilities for remote machines. The second thing is, how do we extend detection and response, especially when there is data constantly being downloaded from or uploaded to the cloud in the SaaS environment. So complete visibility of SaaS and cloud and response on those environments as well. Lastly, how do we automate detection and response so that instead of a human team actually responding to such attacks, there could be a machine which could actually do that. And lastly, how do we stop emails going through the defenses? Gartner says more than 90% of the attacks actually start with emails. And it is clear that in this day and age, the old ways of doing email security are just not good enough. So you would agree with me that these are times of uncertainty, and we have to deal with uncertainty. We are seeing attacks which are socially engineered. We are seeing AI-powered attacks. So therefore, it becomes almost inevitable that we learn the digital DNA and we correlate activities across different networks within your environment. So what happens on the cloud and SaaS and on-prem environment, as well as your email environment, becomes very, very important to be correlated and needs to be interlinked with each other while making a security decision or a business decision. So a tool that can actually work across multiple environments and can weave it together to to create a unique behavior analysis and create a pattern of life, as we call it. And then on the basis of that, it can make a decision what is normal and what is abnormal within the environment, and finally respond to something which is abnormal without causing business disruption is the need of the hour right now. So our autonomous response actually does this exactly what I just told you. So what it does is it basically gathers the information from the enterprise immune system, which learns the normal, detects the abnormal, and feeds it into autonomous response. Now, autonomous response then makes a business decision on what to stop, how to stop, and when to stop. So it is a tool which can definitely interrupt the abnormal activity in real time, but it can also make an intelligent decision whether to do it itself or whether to deploy or use another tool such as a firewall or an antivirus that it integrates with to stop that unusual activity. So it does it in a manner wherein there is almost no impact on normal and legitimate business activity, which can continue as usual. And just to let you know, we don't quarantine devices because we know that by doing that, it causes business hampering. So therefore, we cut off the port-to-port connection, or we would just be able to cut off that particular application from working within the device. So all other applications can continue working as usual. Now, this is the technology architecture. So how does Darktrace actually work? So whether your data is in the cloud, SaaS, on-prem network, in your desktops, laptops, computers, meaning your client machines, in your industrial environment, or in your email environment, it doesn't matter. We actually we do a complete data capture in the form of raw network traffic, which is the binary data. And then these packets of data are then analyzed over 1,000 plus matrices in our machine learning software. And models are created for each user, each device, each peer group, each subnet, and each application. And then this is fed into the threat classifier where the machine learning actually kicks in. And this is nothing but Bayesian estimation, or k-means clustering, that happens here. The mathematical formula is already given here. And this is where the normal is separated out from the abnormal, and whatever is abnormal is then fed into antigena, which is our responding mechanism, which can then take a surgical action on wherever the abnormal activity is happening. So let's say if the abnormal activity is happening in cloud or SaaS or on-prem network or client, it will only take an action there, and rest of the networks would be untouched. Now, overarching the antigena sits the cyber AI analyst, which can actually do the investigation and triage, and it can cut down the time to triage by up to 92% and create reports which are in PDF format, which in real time, normally something that a SOC team takes many days or sometimes even weeks to prepare. So, and by the way, this tool is totally integratable or can integrate with your firewall, such as Cisco, Palo Alto, FortiGate, Sophos, etc. And it can also integrate with your SIEM solutions if you're using one, such as QRadar, Splunk, Logarithm, etc. By the way, we also have a Darktrace mobile app. So if you are using an Android or an Apple phone, you can download the app and you can get a real-time understanding of the activity of each user, each device within your network, wherever you are. So how does the enterprise immune system work? So enterprise immune system works exactly the same way, just like a human body does. So one good thing that happened in 2020 was that I learned a lot about my body and my immunity because of obvious reasons. And now this is something that we all are talking about. So enterprise immune system actually does the same thing in the digital network. It is a self-learning engine which uses no rules and signatures. It has no understanding of your network. It does not use any fixed baselining. It on the basis of the behavior of the different devices and continuous comparisons that it does between devices, between users, between packets, between subnets, and between different geographical locations of your branch offices and headquarters, it actually creates patterns of understanding on the basis of which it can detect normal from abnormal, and it gives you 100% visibility of each user, each device, and each incident in real time. And this is delivered to you on the premise or on the cloud or in a hybrid environment without any configuration or tuning required. And irrespective of whether you are a small organization with just a handful of people and just a few devices, all the way up to a multinational organization with millions of devices spread across hundreds of countries all over the world, still we can give you the same kind of visibility in a single glass of pane, single dashboard. Now, AI investigation, basically, as I said before, that we have taken and trained artificial intelligence to next level where it can perform the job of a human analyst of doing the investigation and triage with the same precision and flexibility of a human person, if not better. It continuously investigates and understands the threats, the breaches, the incidents that are happening within your network, and it gives you the most relevant incidents in the order of priority in a single report, which reduces the time to investigate by up to 92%. Anti-China, autonomous response. Now, basically, it is a surgical interruption of attacks. So as I said, it is an intelligent tool which can not only stop the attacks, but also can make an informed decision on how to stop the attack, causing minimal disruption to business. It is a totally configurable tool. You can put it on a human confirmation mode, wherein you as a user can take a decision on what to allow and what to stop, or you can put it on a fully autonomous mode, wherein the machine can make a decision on what to allow and what to stop, or you can put it on a hybrid mode, wherein during weekdays you can make a decision when you're in the office, and during weeknights and weekends the machine can take a decision as you may not be in the office. So as per your liking, you can actually pick and choose how you would like to use this. This is a tool which can improve the functionality of your SOC if you're using one, and it can free up the time of your team so you can focus on what matters to you the most. And lastly, it can integrate with your other security tools such as firewalls, etc., to take a decision, to take an action to stop an abnormal activity within your network. Client sensors. Now, one big thing that I have learned from many users or heard from many users as a pain point is, how do we get visibility of the users who are working from home, especially when they get disconnected from the VPN? Now, that is a question that gets answered by client sensors. Client sensors are basically a small endpoint agent that gets deployed within the devices, and it can provide oversight of the users even when they are disconnected from the VPN. It can give you complete visibility on their cloud and SaaS activities, no matter where they are. It detects insider threats, zero-day malware, compromised credentials, etc., and it is something that you can deploy seamlessly remotely. You don't have to go from machine to machine. You can do it in a single shot. As I said before, we actually have dedicated connectors available for each SaaS and cloud application. So now, instead of having a siloed approach, you can actually have an integrated approach where you can have a complete visibility, reporting, alerting, and actions or response to all the environments which you're using within your organization. In 2019, we have seen that almost all organizations had to overnight switch over to the SaaS model, which require a lot of adaptive nature and a unified coverage, which was very difficult for most security teams. Collaboration became a lot more difficult these days as compared to before. So these are the questions that have been answered using the cloud connectors and the SaaS connectors, which we have displayed on this particular slide. We now have a dedicated SaaS console that you can benefit from as well. Now I would move into a live demo, which would actually showcase this product to you for your better understanding. This is the demo environment of one of our customers. It's a multinational company. This company has offices all over the world. So you can see different cubes here. So the blues and the purples, etc., etc. So they are all color coded. So for example, cubes which are brighter in color, such as the yellows or the orange or the red, those are the ones where there is abnormal activity happening, and the ones which are darker in color, like the blue and the purple, etc., it's where there is normal activity happening. So right now, as we see, there is normal activity happening in Australia, US, but there is abnormal activity happening here in Japan, UK, South America, and so on. The best part about the screen is that everything is clickable, so you can actually hover your mouse on any one of these cubes, and once I move my mouse here, you can see the lot of subnets here again, and so on. The subnet ID is visible. You can actually drill down, you can click on it, and it would give you a subnet view of all the subnets. Out of these subnets, this one with 17, this one with 21 devices, and this one with 39 devices are the ones which are causing issue, having abnormal activity. You can drill down further, you can click on it, and you can go into the galaxy view. As you can see, this is the perimeter, or the perimeter of the network. These are the external devices which are outside the network, and these are the internal devices. So every dot is an endpoint. This is a server, this is a desktop, this is a desktop, and so on. You can click on any of these machines, and you can drill down further, and you can actually go all the way up to the machine. These buttons on the right are like CCTV cameras, so you can play the button and you can look at the live network traffic going between this server, which is the DNS server, and this other DNS server. If you want to look at the logs, you can click on this button here, and this would open up the logs for you. So that's the network traffic. You can see it's a bi-directional traffic. You can see the arrow buttons for the blue lines. These are the logs. The best part about these logs is that you can go back by 1 minute, 10 minutes, 1 hour, or even 1 day, and you can go back up to 1 week, and you can do a packet capture file for something that happened up to 1 week back as well. You can, like for example, I clicked on this button, I can create a packet capture file for this event from the logs, and I can use the packet analyzer to analyze this particular packet. So you can see in just a couple of clicks, all the way from a world view, I am down to that device, and I am actually looking at the packet of that particular file and investigating exactly where things started going wrong from which packet onwards. Now, I'll go back to the home screen once again. Just give it a few seconds for it to load. So here we are. So here on the left side, these numbers that you see, so we are currently looking at last 7 days of data. As you can see here, you can change it to last Saturday, last Friday, last 24 hours, or anything that you like. In the last 7 days, the system has picked up roughly 1.39 million patterns of life. Now, mind you, this is not packets, but patterns of behavior. So number of packets analyzed over number of parameters actually create one pattern of life. And we are talking about roughly 1.39 million patterns of life picked up from 30,871 devices and used by 23,500 users. Now, if you click on this number here, which is 30,871, it would take you to a page, which is the asset inventory list of the company. So here you can see the laptops, desktops, virtual servers, etc. These are automatically labeled using the AI of the AI technology or the machine learning software. You can see the host names, the IP address. Now, mind you, if you do an LDAP integration, instead of the IP addresses, you would see the names of the people. Even the MAC address, the vendor name, and because this is a demo environment with limited functionality, but if this was a production environment, you would see the operating system as well. So this could be, for example, Mac or Linux or Windows or etc. By the way, you can actually set priorities. So for example, this laptop can be high priority, this desktop can be low priority, and so on. It gives you complete control, even if you are a admin user working from home, you can actually see when was the first time and the last time the user logged in. So for example, these users until here logged in today on 10th May, but from here onwards, these are the people who have logged in yesterday. So maybe they did not come to office yet because maybe they are in the US or a different time zone, or they're sleeping right now, or they could be on a holiday. So it gives you complete control who's accessing when, the first time and the last time. Now at the bottom here is the threat tray. So all the threats are here. Red means very severe. If you go towards the right, you would see orange means less severe, and towards the right, these are yellow, which means even less severe. So they are automatically aligned in the descending order of severity, from all the way from very, very severe threats to lower levels of severity. Here at the bottom top, this is more like a search bar, so you can search for anything. So for example, I write the name of a user called James Proctor. So James has a cell phone associated with him. This is the IP address. This is the MAC address. Similarly, he also has a laptop associated with him. This is the IP, the MAC. You can click on this button, look at the logs, the breach logs, the graphs, and so on. So at a click of a button, all the information is available to you, just like a Google search bar. Now, if you want to investigate any particular threats, how easy it is to investigate, let's actually go into it. But before I go, let me just walk you through this. Filters. So currently this threat tray is as per the models which have been breached. You can click as per users. You can look it up as per devices and so on. For example, if I look as per users, I see all the different users here whose machines have been breached, and these numbers 2, 3, 8, they basically denote how many breaches have occurred in that particular user credential or in that particular device. So for example, I clicked on Henry Jones. Now Henry's machine has 6 breaches, as we can see. Let's look at SaaS login. Now this is a breach which has happened in the Office 365 environment. Now mind you, currently today is May 10th, 2021. So if you actually double click on this button here, it will take you back by 3 days, which is May 7th, 2021 at 2:29 midnight. And if you want to look at the logs, you can click on this button here, and you can look at the logs here side by side. Now let me press the play button to play out this particular incident like a CCTV video, as if this incident is happening live in front of us. Now, mind you, Henry is basically an admin user in one of the organization which has been hit severely by COVID, and they've been laying off people. So Henry knows that he would have to surrender his laptop to the HR the following day. So what he does is he basically comes home on a Friday evening at 2:30 midnight. He actually does admin login, and then he starts downloading all the files from different IP addresses, as you can see, such as disaster recovery, systems layout, master passwords, old contacts, root passwords, etc. He's also downloading, these are all SAS files. He's also downloading keys, SQLs, ticketing systems which have happened in the past, account receivables, account payables, etc., etc., even the backups. So, and then finally what he does is he actually creates a new credential. This is like, which is an admin credential. And this is like creating a backdoor into Office 365 because he knows that he would not have the laptop the following day. So he tries to then upload the information to noip.com. He tries again, firewall blocks him. He tries again, firewall blocks him. But when he changes the website and he goes to vtransfer.com, Antigena, which is our autonomous response, blocks external communication over port 443 for 5 minutes. He tries again, he gets blocked by Antigena again. He changes the website to Secure Point, and Antigena blocks him again. He changes the website again to Cloud DNS, Antigena blocks him again. Now, if you look at this particular incident from the point of view of rules and signature-based devices such as firewalls, or antiviruses, etc., the way they would work is Henry Jones an admin user? Yes, he is. Is he doing what he's entitled to do? Yes, he is entitled to access these files. Has he put in the right credentials? Has he put in the right amount of information? Is he accessing something, or is he doing something that he's entitled to do? Yes, he is. So therefore, he's allowed by the firewall to access or upload information into, let's say, vTransfer or Secure Point or Cloud DNS. But when you look at it from the machine learning or the artificial intelligence point of view, there are a number of breaches that Henry has done on the Office 365 environment. And the first thing is, Henry logged in at 2:30 midnight. Has he ever logged in at this point in time? No, he hasn't. Has anybody who's similar in role or similar in capacity done this kind of a login? No, that person hasn't. Second, he's downloading a lot of sensitive files, as you can see, from different IP addresses. Has that been the behavior in the past? No. So this is not consistent behavior. And then he's downloading large volume of cloud file downloads. And then finally, he's creating a backdoor by creating a new admin login. And then lastly, the next behavior is upload of this sensitive file access, which is a very large amount of data going to an external website. So there are a number of breaches. One, the time of login is unusual. Two, the sensitive file access is unusual. Three, the volume of the files was unusual. Four, the creation of an admin login at this time of the day, which is 2:30 midnight, is unusual. Five, information upload is unusual. And these point towards an inconsistencies of behavior with his own behavior and with the behavior of people who are similar in capacity in the same organization. Now, that's how machine learning actually picks these kind of attacks and breaches, and therefore it got blocked out, wherein Antigena kept on blocking, and then finally Antigena used firewall to block all FTP not allowed on this particular subnet. So this is how Antigena responded in real time to an attack even before the data could be exfiltrated out of the network. Now that is just one incident that I wanted to show you. Now let me show you another feature of Darktrace. I'll go back to the home screen and I'll just wait for the home screen to load. So basically, if you don't have time to go through all the threads which are there in this particular thread tree, what you can do is here at the bottom, there is a brain icon. You can click on it and it will convert this thread tree into 4 or 5 buckets using the AI Analyst. Now, AI Analyst is basically a cool feature where Darktrace has trained the AI software to do the investigation, analysis, and triage up to the level, if not better than a human person. Now, if you click on this particular user, Maria Flores, you would see Maria's PC has 5 breaches here: possible SSL command and control, TCP port scanning, SMB write of suspicious files, HTTP command and control, and hijack of Office 365 accounts. Now, if you look it up in a kill chain format, there are 6 steps of a cyber attack, from initial infection to establish foothold to privilege escalation, internal reconnaissance, lateral movement, and accomplish mission. Now, if you look, Maria's PC is at stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, and stage 5 in this kill chain. So she's just one step away from a cyber attack happening in her PC because of these activities which are already taking place. Now, if you want a report of this particular PC, then you can just write Maria Flores and you can generate a report. Now, normally a SOC team or an analyst team actually take a long time, sometimes several days or even weeks, to produce such a report. I'm not just talking about one device, but I'm talking about investigating number of devices within the network and coming up with a comprehensive report. But in this case, the report gets generated in a matter of seconds in real time. So you can see the credential, the IP, the MAC, even the JA3 client hash, the time, it's in UTC, endpoint, we've just put a bracket so that you don't get redirected to that endpoint. Hostname rarity is 100%, destination port used was 443, data in and data out was 7 KB each. It was a self-signed certificate and the attack started somewhere in Moscow. And even in simple English, the description is mentioned. So if a non-technical person such as your CFO or your chairman or your CEO is reading this report, even he can understand as to what happened and where did the things started going wrong. Right? And similarly, for the second incident, TCP port scanning, these were the IP scan, total connections 36, port 443 was used. Similarly, the third incident, the fourth incident, and the fifth incident. So if you have that kind of information, I mean, there is no further investigation required. And this is something the software does for you. You don't really require a human team to actually do that for you. Now, if you want a complete report for all the incidents in the network, then you can actually download it from the download incidents here at the bottom right of your screen. Mind you, this is for the last 7 days, but you can customize the dates and you can download the entire dump of the incidents. Now, if your management actually says that I would like to see a complete holistic report for the entire network, then instead of giving them such a detailed report, you can actually give them an executive threat report. Now, this is for the last 7 days. Again, you can change the timeline as you like. I'm just clicking on minimal because I don't want a very heavy report, and I generate a report. And when I generate this report, let me just download it. There you go. It gets downloaded instantly. Now, this is a kind of a report you would show to your management, wherein you're explaining the distribution of breaches, phases of an attack. So there are exploits, tooling, reconnaissance, lateral movement, egress, percentage scores are attached here. One-line descriptions, as you can see, is mentioned here. Total of 21 breaches, 5 different models triggered by 19 unique devices, and so on. So for every particular subheading, there is a one-line description and a pie chart attached for the management. Similarly, top devices by overall score. So which were the devices that got breached and what was the device breach summary? There was unusual SSH connection. There was unusual internal connections. There was beaconing to rare host name, internal data transfer, etc., and the percentage scores attached. Similarly, devices breaching high priority models, masqueraded file transfer, long connection gap, new device found on the system, etc., percentage scores attached, and a bar chart attached for the same. Now, what are the applications which are causing these problems? Dropbox, 11 devices, 12 breaches, remote management tool, 9 devices, 11 breaches, privacy VPN, 6 devices, 7 breaches, and so on. And finally, who are my troublemakers? Lisa using Dropbox, Sally using WhatsApp Messenger, Chris using privacy VPN, remote management tool, somebody using a Dropbox again, and so on. Again, a bar chart for this data. So this is basically a a management report, something that you would like to present to your management as a snapshot of the summary of what is happening within the network. Now, there is one more feature that I would like to draw your attention towards within Darktrace, and that is called as the dynamic threat dashboard. Now, dynamic threat dashboard, mind you, is something very similar to what a SOC team normally spends their entire day on. Now, this is exactly what the dynamic threat dashboards looks like. So if you ever go into a room where the SOC team sits, you would see that they are actually looking at a screen like this all day long, wherein these are the model breaches for the different devices, for the different models which have been triggered. If you want to look at these breaches as per models, here it is. If you want to look at it as per devices, you can click here. If you want to look at it as per users, you can click here. Now, if these are the percentage scores that the machine has actually assigned to each model breach, you can filter by device, you can investigate, and you can acknowledge. These are the logs, these are the graphs, and this is the chart. Every dot here actually denotes a model breach. Lastly, if there are too many devices which are breaching, and if you want to, let's say, prioritize it, so you can move the slider. This would actually help you look at only the top model breaches. Like I put it at 95%. So I'm just looking at 96 and 98%. If you have more time, you can remove the, reduce the slider all the way up to 1%, and then you will have all the breaches, this helps you prioritize as well. So it's a complete tool which gives you visibility, monitoring, alerting, triage, investigation, response to attack in real time, and lastly, reports and the SOC view, built into one. And this is an autonomous tool. It is more like a set and forget kind of a tool that normally organizations use for complete IT security of their digital estate. With this, I conclude my presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Thank you so much.